We're here today to talk about how social media isn't just the future, it's happening now, and if you're not on it, if you're not utilizing it, you're making a very large mistake. We had this great product and a great marketing plan, and we thought, social media is free, you know? And this is the biggest thing we should talk about today. Social media is free. We're not buying TV ads, we're not buying print ads, you know?
Yes.
That stuff is kind of dying out. Even though I'm on television, I'm saying that, but that world is kind of dying out. Social media is free, everyone's on it. As soon as we leave here today, we're all gonna pick up our phones and we're gonna be on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. So we're just using that with my company to the best of our abilities to just get the word out there and try to hone in on that niche audience. So that's an overview of what we're doing.
So it seems to be happening a lot with Instagram, that niche audience on being able, I have a friend that started a bikini company. I don't wear the bikinis, but she started a bikini company part-time. She was working for the Marlins at the time and just started buying inventory, and her specialty was being able to match up tops and bottoms for females, like in the world of bikinis, because I guess there's no specific size on here. And she used that personalized with her cell phone number on the bio, the whole line. Anyway, the thing blew up, she quit her job. So that niche market of being able to create content for, obviously females like bikinis, right? All right, never mind. Wow. Holy cow. But Instagram niching itself down to be able to say, I've got a specific product and niche, and audiences, I believe, match up to that. So if I love fishing and I see pictures of fish, and the reason these fish are being caught is because of this cool tool, I'm going to, I'm gonna follow you because I'm interested. I don't know if I'm gonna buy your product or not, but.
And I'll let you say something here in a second, Kim, but just to kind of give a broad overview of this. So this took it from, to really niche it down, this took it from people who like the outdoors, to people who like fishing, to people who like a specific type of fishing, bass fishing, and that's what's so cool about Instagram, is you can really dial in, not just interest, but also location.
Kimberly, let's talk about what happens in the world of Nova Southeastern University, actually more specifically the world of a university pertaining to social media. It's evolved a lot. I believe you can actually major in social media now too, can't you?
Yeah, we actually have a class. I think Jane and Federico, you might have taken it. There's a social media marketing class that we offer through the Huizenga College of Business and Entrepreneurship. But going back to the original, what's going on with social media with the university, we do a lot of organic work on LinkedIn and a lot of paid and organic growth building strategies on Facebook, because the intent for me isn't necessarily to get the most followers, it's really to get those followers that are extremely interested and engaged with our brand. So different strategy there, different paid strategies for Facebook versus LinkedIn.
So what type of strategies are there? So I know there's probably a few different
Sure.
sectors that you guys tackle pertaining to social, but like what would be like the main thing? Like, hey, we run ads on Facebook for this.
Sure. So we have a number of different strategies that we do for paid. One of the things that you might see or you may not see due to our targeting is we promote our virtual tour almost every other week. We do a tour Tuesday. So what I do is I'll create a post on Facebook, and I'll geo-target that post to the states where we do a lot of heavy recruiting. Make sure that the students that are targeted, the age range is appropriate, that they're interested in a private college or a private university, and run boosted ads on Facebook to try to let people know that are in the Northeast, New England, Chicago, some of those cold weather areas, students who would love to come down to sunny Florida to get away from the cold, to let them know, hey, you can take a virtual tour. I'm used to doing that. You can come down, or before you come down, you can take our virtual tour and test drive us, see what we're like, as opposed to some of the other universities, and get them into our pipeline, because that drives them to a lead gen page. So that's one of our strategies. Also,
and the end result is them obviously applying at the school.
So requesting info. And then, definitely submitting an application. And the other, there are several things that we do. Also, points of pride. NSU was recently ranked within the top 200 for U.S. News and World Reports. That was a huge shark pride bite for us.
I see what you did there.
When you have great news that your company wants to share, it's really important that you're not the best kept secret in town. Facebook is exceedingly good for us to get the message out because of the platform. You can also reach people off of Facebook, and that's extremely important to us because sometimes our target demographic definitely is not going to be on Facebook, they're going to be on Instagram, or we can run ads on the Audience Network, and Facebook is so robust when it comes to behavioral targeting, interest-based targeting, so completely different audience on Facebook and Instagram than I'm going to be reaching on LinkedIn.
Wow, that's awesome. So the reason I asked, I'm so interested in the topic is, well, number one, I have a daughter going to college next year, but I used to teach at universities when I first started back in 2010. This was unheard of. There was no curriculum for social media at all. That's why the PR communication school would say, hey, do you mind coming in and talking to the class about what they should be doing pertaining to social media or how it's all going to work. So it's fun to see how everything's evolved and it's something that's now in the curriculum. What do you guys want to talk about next?
I want to get down to the real meat of, our company does really well on Instagram. We have 32,000 on Facebook, which is pretty good as well. I want to get down to the meat of this. You're not selling a product or a service on that. And I think that this is the biggest misconception. What you're selling through these photos that you're posting on Instagram and Facebook is you're selling a lifestyle. And I think a lot of people will post something and go, well, I posted that yesterday and I didn't sell anything, or I didn't book any new clients, depending on what your company is. It must have been a failure. And I think that this is a massive misconception. What you did is you put it into the eyeballs of everyone that was on your feed. And if it was a great photo, now 1,000 people, 2,000 people, in the case of my company, we're getting 50, 60,000. I think our most engaged post is 250,000 people that saw that post. So I think that you need to think about this kind of like reverse engineer this and think of it as like, I'm just trying to get it out there. You're kind of like the guy standing on the corner holding a sign. You see the guy standing on the corner all the time for the President's Day mattress sale or all those different things. Are you going to buy a mattress from him? No, but you know he exists and now it's in your mind. And I think that that's a big thing. It's all about getting great content out there. Think about how you consume social media. If you're like anyone else, you consume it like this. You're flicking really, really, really quickly, and unless something catches your eye, maybe you'll stop and double tap. If something really catches your eye, then maybe you'll stop and read that caption. So I think it's an idea of just kind of throwing it out into the masses, but knowing that it needs to be great content.
100%, and it's real. A majority of you are probably thinking, yeah, well, I don't have a nifty little product that I can put on Instagram that absolutely blew up. I've got a boring, mundane business. No offense to anybody, but some businesses are boring, but very profitable, thinking I don't need to be in the game. And Instagram may not be a fit for you. However, social as a whole, and to Chris's point, it's getting in the race and realizing that you're not going to win the race unless you're actually in the race and making that digital footprint on where you're at. So if we take it a step further, one second time, if we take it a step further, we all judge each other. Silently, some people do it publicly, whatever it may be. Individuals, consumers, the public will start to judge, if they don't already, your brand for not having a strategy. So I'm just kind of coming in from an angle real quick here for the non-believers, if you will, and helping you. I'm preaching a little social media gospel to hopefully convert you and shift your mindset to really understand that this stuff is not going anywhere. And the good news is we're just getting started. So I bet you didn't set out to say, you know what, we're going to launch this thing. It's going to absolutely explode. And nice.
No, not at all. And the cool thing
It was a passion thing.
It was a passion thing. We thought we might make a couple $100 a month selling this on our website or maybe on eBay. It quickly exploded from there. But what we learned through doing our social media posting was I'm now able to do this for other companies, and you're selling that lifestyle of the other companies, or for the other companies, to the masses here. And I think that one of the biggest things that I want to key in on, I want to hit in on here is if you do have a product or you do have a service, and someone is taking the time to post a photo about your product and service, take 11 seconds out of your day to comment back to them. And it doesn't need to be thanks, or it shouldn't be a cut and paste like, thanks for stopping by. It should be like, hey, like let's say you have a hair salon. Maybe you should respond and say, it was great to see you in here, Sebastian. We hope to see you in here again soon. Or make it personal, because social media is personal. It is one person with a phone in their hand looking at something there.
There's a certain amount of emotion attached to social media, actually a tremendous amount of emotion attached to it. And by a show of hands, how many people feel awesome when a large brand or someone responds back to you, likes you, or comments on your social media? Tell me you don't feel like you just want to high five somebody. Yeah. That's the reality, that's the human behavior of what's taking place with this stuff, because it moves people to specific types of behaviors. In your case, hopefully it's I want to follow this brand, I want to consume their content, and that's the real kicker, is that a lot of the content that's being created in the social space for your brand is being consumed by people who will never buy your product, ever. But they might know someone who may buy your product or consume your product, and that's the reality of being able to, the fact of being able to archive get a digital footprint and archive the life of your brand, to be able to look back and go, here's what we did over the past 10 years, is unbelievable. We take it a step further personally, and to sit down with your grandkids and go, here's what I did with bow ties back in the day. I think that's some pretty cool stuff.
Social isn't just for content creation, but it is an amazing way to monitor to see how your brand is doing in the market for social listening. We use social media as a customer service outlet. People tweet to us all the time if they've been on hold, for financial aid, or they had, a parking mishap during the commencement ceremony. Students, the community, and I'm sure you guys have seen people mentioning your brand in a positive way, hopefully sometimes maybe a negative way, and it's a great way for you to reach out and maybe nip that in the bud before it gets any worse, and before they maybe tell more people about it. You can turn maybe what was a negative experience into a positive one.
And showcase it.
And showcase that, and turn that person who was actually, who didn't have a good experience with you or your brand into maybe a brand advocate because of how quickly you addressed it. You saw them, you thanked them, you acknowledged them, and you tell them we're gonna make it better.
Yeah. I think there's too many people that, I'm sure most people out here that have a company or brand have a social media account, but there's a whole bunch of people that go, well, I'm not very good at it. So if I'm not very good at this, I'm just not gonna do it. Well, we've got this great thing now called the internet, where if you ever want
Google.
If you want to learn anything about anything ever, you can learn it online. And you want to learn some great techniques about how Instagram works or Facebook works, you can just, you can learn from people that are doing it there. You can watch YouTube videos from there, and you can learn from the best on there. Here's what we did when we first started my company. I looked at the companies that were doing really well in that space, and I started kind of mirroring what they were doing. I wasn't taking their posts and putting them on my page, but if I saw that these types of pictures were doing really well, now I'm gonna start creating these types of pictures. If posting something and asking a question was getting a lot of comments, and Instagram's algorithm, by the way, loves comments more than anything else. If you can generate
this
comments,
week it does.
The Instagram algorithm changed a lot, but comments are king right now on Instagram. So if you can ask a question on Instagram and generate comments, this is going to be a great thing. I think
People love answering questions.
And I think too many people are using social media as an advertisement. They're saying, we've got a sale today, come on in and save 25%. Well, the average person who's scrolling through their phone is not going to drop everything and come in or go to your website or whatever. You're just trying to put your products out there and or you put your content out there and create a lifestyle. At least where I'm coming from.
Oh, 100%. Well, the push-pull strategy has completely shifted. The old adage that you're pushing, you're advertising, there's billboards, there's commercials, there's TV, there's radio, etc. You're pushing your message out in hopes to get a return of a customer back in, and that's completely shifted with social media. It's now a pull. You're trying to pull the client in, or customer in rather, or audience in with your content and keep them there. You really don't, you want them to buy your product, but you really don't care. The most important thing is they're staying within your community and supporting it, commenting it, liking it, talking it, interacting, and most importantly, taking it one step further and going and telling other people about you.
Oh, I wanted to just quickly say, tag on to what Chris said. Every single person here, if you have a social media account, you should really, and I ask my interns to do this as well, you should really be following at least 3 to 5 aspirational accounts. So if you're in technology or you're a local vendor, you should definitely be following other people in your industry and your field to see what's working, exactly what's being commented on, what's being shared, what's really making an impact. And if you aren't doing that already, definitely find 3 to 5 competitors, maybe in-state, maybe preferably out of the state. So if you do something that's very similar to the guy down the road, they're not like, oh, come on. But definitely do that. It's a great strategy to see what's working and what you can do and tweak it to your business to make it more effective on social.
By show of hands, how many people are not on Instagram? All right, how many people are not on Facebook? We've got one shady person in the room. Cool. Todd, I think Todd had a question.
Yeah, so I think a lot of us struggle with creating content and ways to create it. So Chris, you mentioned you're using actually not even your own content, but people's pictures that your comment and engagement on that, which is awesome. But if we don't have a product that we're selling, and we can't do something like that, and we're a B2B business, let's say, I'd like to know from Kim what creative ways. I know you mentioned the virtual tour, but is there anything else that you can give us as far as like a tip on ways to create content?
Absolutely. One of the things that we've done in the past is we've created influencer campaigns for the College of Engineering and Computing to do thought leadership. If you don't have a product, but you're in the space for selling things, there's always opportunities for thought leadership, best practices, a tip of the week from the CEO, a tip of the week from the COO. Maybe some of the people in the field have some thoughts or strategies that they can share, and you can use that and build out an entire content calendar around, we have a motivational Monday. I don't know there might be something that's kind of flashy and catchy in your field. See what your competitors are doing, and there might be something that's kind of a general tag that's going on every Tuesday. They're doing something. And if you're saying that content is an issue, one of the easiest things you can do is just start with quotes and then build off of that. Quotes that are from thought leaders in your field. Maybe it's Steve Jobs. Maybe it's Sheryl Sandberg. Depending on what your sector is. Then you can start doing some images, maybe some images of people like at your shop or at your business, and then move that up to video. I mean, everybody in this room has maybe an iPhone or an Android, and we're shooting 4K with this now. You get yourself a $40 tripod from Best Buy, you stabilize it, and maybe use iMovie to put a simple lower thirds on that, and boom, you've got a video you can do every single Monday. Don't say you don't have an opportunity, you definitely do, and I'm sure there's a lot of thought leadership in your shop that you could definitely leverage on LinkedIn or Facebook, depending on your audience, depending on what your goals are.
And when you do get a great photo, like one of these ones that Kimberly's talking about, don't be afraid to spend even just a couple dollars on Facebook and a Facebook ad. It's something like $10 to reach 1,000 people. 1,000 people, even if one of those people becomes your customer. So if you've got a photo that is doing really well, it's getting some great engagement, spend 10, 20, 30, maybe $100 to get it out there for a week, have a week-long campaign. And you can hone that in by zip code, you can hone it in by age, you can hone it in by interest. You can even take a company that's you can take a customer who is interested in one of your competitor companies, and you can have an algorithm bounces off of that, and you can hone in right on them. So I would say that if you do have something that works for you, put it out to as many people as you can.
I always like to say, we sit down with our agency clients, we don't know what we want to talk about. We want to shoot some videos and create a podcast. I go, what are the top 10 frequently asked questions about your business?
Yeah, that's a great point.
And then what are the top 10 SAQs about your business? The should ask questions, but they're not. Right? So you got 10 frequently asked questions that everybody asks me, and then we've got 10 questions that should be asked that are not. We're talking about 20 questions, pieces of content, but that's to Kimberly's point, being able to get out there and tell a story and create the content. And the reason I brought up boring brands, and I work with a lot of attorneys, like, do you know what it's like to create video buzz for litigation? That's some boring stuff. So we've got to make it fun and entertaining and be able to get in there and, again, a lot of the how you create the content. Canva, another great app. Canva.com. You can make your own memes. Yep. It's awesome. Put your own logo on there. What I like to do, I've got a food show called Foodie Buzz, so I like to create content about food when we're not shooting the show. And there's a lot of cool food on Instagram. I don't know if you went into the Discover phase, but I'm a big foodie, so they're always putting in under Discovery tons of food, and there's awesome pictures of ooey gooey Chicago cheese pizza where you just want to eat your phone because it looks like such a great picture. And I'll go ahead and share it. Yesterday I shared a meatball sub. I said it's Meatball Monday. And no, I'm not eating this sub. I sure wish I was though. And this sub is from Mutzorella, M-U-T-O-Rella in Chicago or wherever it was. And I gave them a photo credit. Big shout out to Mutzorella for the photo. Happy Monday, y'all. Now, I've had one person get mad at me for repurposing their content ever in 10 years, ever.
Yeah,
right?
same. Those people are honored.
They're terrible. Yeah, they were a horrible person. So, yeah, I hope bad things happen to them. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. But a majority of people would like that. If I share Chris stuff or I share something from NSU, you're going to wait a second, this was cool, and you're probably going to be more inclined to share something from my network moving forward now that we've connected, being able to build that community of not a constant, I'll share your stuff, you share mine. That's annoying. But there are some things like, hey, remember when we shared that one post that got a really good response? This is kind of a fit to be able to do that too. So
I think it's also, just to be clear and get down to the real nuts and bolts of this, if you do have an Instagram account or a Facebook account, I think that you need to make your bio short, succinct, to the point, and I think you should put a call to action in there. You should tell people why your business exists, and in that why, it tells the customer, what they can do or what you can do for them. I think you should start with why instead of what. So many companies start with what we can do. I think you should start with why you can do it. You should put your, if you don't have your Instagram account linked to your Facebook business account, you should do that so you can have the address or at least the city that your company resides in, and then your website there. And I think that from there, you're at least telling a story to someone. And also, I think this is the most important thing. You can't just put content out there and expect people to find it. I think a lot of people will put a photo on Instagram, put a photo on Facebook and go, well, did my Instagramming for the day.
Post to pray.
You need to, I spend a god-awful amount of time doing this, but I spend all day just scrolling like, and it puts you into the algorithm. I'm liking someone's stuff, so they now know I exist. So they're now maybe seeing my stuff. So my stuff will now then show up on their newsfeed, because the way that Instagram and Facebook works right now is that they're only showing you stuff that they think you're interested in based on your previous behaviors.
And they're pretty smart. They're way smarter than us, just so you know. So all the changes and the algorithm changes and all the things that continue to evolve are so that we don't mess things up. That's the reason they continue to change things for us. So, and being consistency, to your point on making sure you're staying whatever we know about Instagram's algorithm, obviously the basics.
It might sound crazy, but I would say if you have a small business or a brand and you're on, I'm just going to talk about Instagram right now, but it probably works for Facebook as well. I would say probably try to like between 500 and 700 photos a day. Whoa, that sounds like a lot, but it'll take you maybe.
Deco Drive's we're live, Chris. Where's Chris at? We're live, Chris.
But you bring your phone everywhere. So I would say if you're liking between 500 and 700 photos, it gets you on the radar of 500 to 700 people. I would say maybe do 10% of those comments, maybe 50 to 70 comments a day. Even if it's just, hey, that's a great photo, or that's awesome. Do not leave a comment like, hey, that's really nice, come by my salon, we have 25% off.
Hey, don't pitch me, bro.
Yeah, don't pitch.
Yeah. One of them, number one. Number two, to that point, I totally forgot what I was going to say.
I'm sure it was great.
It was going to be amazing, I tell you. Liking 500 to 700, we're probably already liking that many photos in a day. It doesn't seem like it, right? Have you counted your steps lately? I'm mind blown that I walk 20,000 steps a day. That's a lot. Did I even leave the house? So, the amount of likes that we're doing, because listen, we're digitally addictive. Statistics will tell us that the average person is no more than 3.5 feet away from their smartphone at any given time, okay? We sit here and we post something and we wait for that first like or comment. It gives us this shot of dopamine that goes right to our head that goes, oh my God, I'm awesome. I am awesome. Oh my God, 2 likes. That's the psychology of where we're at. So if you can adapt that as a brand and tap into that emotional side through your content, that's where you're going to see the community start to grow. People actually care, about your content. But you absolutely must embrace it as a brand. Okay, so individuals on Instagram. By show of hands, how many brands are on Instagram in here? Okay. So, I mean, what do you guys think about it? Is every brand a fit for Instagram, or?
No, definitely not. If you're a brand that doesn't have a lot of visual data to share with people, it's probably not a good platform for you. And also consider your demographic. If your demographic is not on Instagram, I feel like the whole philosophy about 5 years ago, or maybe even a little bit longer than that, was be everywhere and do all the things. Now the philosophy is a little bit more, do a few things really well so that you reach the people that you want to reach. I also wanted to tackle the content question, because I think there are also people in the audience that may struggle with content. One of the things that we actually struggle with over the summer is creating content, because it's dead. A lot of universities are very quiet over the summer, so don't be afraid to crowdsource your content by creating a contest, by offering an incentive for people to use your hashtag. Create a very short hashtag that potentially may be branded for you. For instance, we run hashtag NSU Summer all summer long, so that students can send us their photos wearing an NSU hat or t-shirt, doing a fins up, wherever they're traveling, even if they're back home. And I get content sent to me every single week. And all I had to do was offer like a pair of tickets, you know, to a concert or, you know,
Food.
a free
College kids
Starbucks.
here.
So I do a free Starbucks e-gift card every single week. That's something I can do, and I can send it electronically to anyone, anywhere in the world. So if you guys want to run a contest to get your customers to crowdsource their own content, even better, you can sit back in your office and wait for that to come in.
You know, this is an interesting point because my brand is not on Twitter because, you know, we're very visually based, a lot of photos, a lot of videos. So we figured, well, Twitter is about having a conversation simply using text. And when we're talking about a fishing brand, well, you know, fishing's all about, I caught this fish and bragging about it. It really weighed 4 pounds, but I'm going to tell everyone it weighed 7 pounds. That's what fishermen do all the time. So we're not on Twitter, and I'm perfectly okay not being on Twitter because we can you know, double down, triple down, 10 times down on our strengths of Instagram and Facebook. And if your business doesn't have a Facebook page, as soon as you leave here today, you should at least create one because there's just such an incredible amount of opportunity to reach people on there through Facebook ads. They're so undervalued right now. And
But they're
For
cheaper
now,
than
yeah.
AdWords. So
Yeah,
if you're
so
trying to run
cheap.
For now.
campaigns, yeah.
For now, like now is the time. If you're going to spend money on advertising on Facebook, hire somebody, figure it out, take a course, watch a YouTube video. But right now, grossly underpriced.
Yeah, and if you don't know anything about Facebook ads, you can hone it into, I want to
They'll love
talk.
to teach you.
I want to talk to people within 10 miles of this specific zip code that are between the ages of 29 and 39 that also are interested in this, and this. I mean, it doesn't get much more specific than that.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Oh, so being able to respond back to people via comments. Okay, because a couple things with comments that I'm sure my fellow panelists will agree. Never delete a comment ever, ever, never.
Hide it if you have to.
And like if someone's belligerent and there's like hate talk and something wrong and inappropriate and foul, yes, you're allowed to delete it. But if someone's calling you out because you should be called out, you need to address it accordingly with a thanks so much for the feedback. If you could please DM us or message us so we can address it accordingly. Never want to delete it, number one. Number two, on a positive note, if someone's talking to you and commenting about your content and they take it a step further, maybe even share it, and you don't comment back or say a word, you're a jerk. No, I'm kidding. You're being grossly negligent to your audience because, again, back to the point where we feel awesome when someone responds back to us, specifically a big brand, because we feel like, yeah. You ever had a bad restaurant experience? Tweeted something or posted something on Instagram, and next thing you know, the manager shows up at your table? It's pretty cool. Great way to get free food. I'm kidding. Oh, wow. Here are we, folks. Twice on Sunday. No, you can't fake building a community and growing a community. I believe as things evolve, there will be some strategic ways that we will be marketing companies out there. And there's a couple where they strategically market your account, not buying followers. They have a strategy.
Influencers.
Right, exactly, influencers.
I'll give you a great way to get,
Sure.
okay.
I don't need it.
We can share. I'll give you a great way to get some followers today. As soon as you leave here, here's how you can get a handful of followers today. So let's say, I'm just going to make this up. Let's say you have a pizza company. All right, your pizza company is based here in Fort Lauderdale. Well, who likes eating pizza? Other than everybody. But who likes eating pizza? Who would consume your pizza? I know there are people who like the Instagram page or Facebook page of another pizza company. So if you went into their most recent photo, and their most recent photo had 120 likes, let's say, go into their photo, and anyone that looks like they, or anyone that has liked that photo, follow them. And they're gonna go, oh, well, because I liked that person's pizza, now this pizza company's following me. Maybe 15%, maybe 20% of those people will follow you back. Just impressed by the fact that you are a brand and you're following them. So, you could do this with any company. You could do this with a spa, you could certainly do it with a fishing company, you could do this with a pizza company or any sort of restaurant. You can hone in on that person lives in this area and likes the thing that I am selling. Well, I'm gonna follow them in the hopes that they'll follow me back. I think it's an easy way to get at least a handful of followers.
The other thing that you can do is, for some of your content on Instagram, I'm sure you have like a few pieces that you're really super proud of. Boost those. You can boost those within the Instagram platform. Boost it to get more impressions and reach a larger audience. Also use hashtags in your Instagram posts. Like, you don't have to go crazy and spam it, but if you happen to, for instance, if you're, like Sebastian said, like a foodie, definitely see there are certain hashtags that are very specific to certain interests. Make sure that you're using those in your posts so that people can discover you. So that's another thing. Boosting, it's very, very inexpensive. You choose the budget from $5, $10, $20, to how many people you want to reach, to just using organic strategy of using the hashtags that your followers are most likely to use to find you and discover you.
And DMing on Instagram is such an incredible tool. So, to use the restaurant example or pizza example again, if there's a blogger in the area or some sort of influencer that maybe has 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 followers, send them a quick DM and go, hey, I noticed that you like to blog about food. I've got this great new restaurant. I'd love to have you come out. And it's implicit, you're implying that you're hoping that they're going to say something about your company. What's that going to cost you? It's going to cost you a meal, which maybe the check is $50, $100. It's really going to cost you $20 to have that put out there to a very dialed-in niche audience.
One of the first things that I want to dial back to when I was saying find some aspirational accounts. So for instance, if we had a pizza company, maybe we would follow Anthony's Coal Fired, or maybe we would follow some of the other Mellow Mushroom or something, and see some of the hashtags that they're using, and they may be generic or they might be branded. So for instance, Mellow Mushroom might do hashtag Mellow Monday or something. So we wouldn't use those if we were trying to get more people over to our pizza place, but they might say something like, FTL Pizza Sundays or something that isn't branded for them, and you can take a look at that and see what's working. Also, there are hashtag aggregators. I used to use Tagboard, but I think that's a paid solution now. Just go into Instagram and just look at some of the accounts that are doing well. Do a hashtag search, see what other brands are using, and see what's just out there that you can find and start using them. You can also edit the existing post that you have and throw a hashtag on there if you forgot to do that when you first posted it. You don't have to add it as a comment, just edit the copy or edit the text for that post, and make sure you throw in at least 3 hashtags that are relevant to that post and to your brand. And then you can start with that.
Although you can add comments to old posts, but Instagram shows them chronologically.
Right.
So if you added a hashtag to a post from last month, it still gets lumped in with the tag of the posts from last month. But if you just type a hashtag into Instagram, you'll see this hashtag has 1 million posts. This one has 100,000 posts. This one has 500 posts. So you want to key in on the ones that are being used frequently.
Another question over here.
Also, check in where you're at. Wherever you go, check in on Instagram.
You don't even need a microphone. This is great.
Location-wise, I won't be able to talk for a week, but we're good. Thanks for taking my mic again. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. So I go to the gym every day. I'm sure you guys can tell. You got tickets to this gun show? Sorry, I had to. Anyway, Equinox in Coral Gables. I like to check in there, but it also allows me to identify other people that are there. Oh, there's that guy that was, or that gal that was on the treadmill next to me, or wherever. And you can talk to people. And I have 5 or 6 friends that I've met over the past 4 or 5 months since I've been a member there, because I go in there and search. But that's not my point. My point is, when you check in there, you can also see other content that's happening there. So maybe I'm running a content blank at 5:30 in the morning. And what am I going to post to check in? Am I 5:30 a.m. gym roll call? I don't know. But when I go to search a location, or I go to Equinox, when someone checks in, you just click on, that's how you see it. So if you look at my post for Sheridan Suite, you click on that, you probably see all the posts that happen with people that I've checked in here. But it also allows other people to find you too.
So we have different strategies for each social platform, and I would highly recommend that for every person in this room. And it also depends on the seasonality of what we're trying to do. So for instance, I might do awareness tactics and awareness campaigns in the fall, with lead generation campaigns in the early spring for the fall of the next year. We have, like I said, we have the Tour Tuesdays, so that we're constantly present in different markets. And then there's ad hoc pieces. I have a social media budget that I manage. Some of it's for specific monthly campaigns that we will run, and some of it will be dedicated just for ad hoc. And you want to have that. You want to have that flexibility. So if you know you're going to be having, let's just say, a $10,000 spend for the year, just as a round number, some of that might be to drive awareness. Some of that might be to drive lead gen. And you want to have a little bucket of money, or maybe not little, but a strategically decided upon bucket of money for monthly boosts when things come up, if you get mentioned in the news, when you have a great post that you have and you just want to boost that. So it's really important to have a strategy for each network, for every objective, and for the time of the year that you're running the campaigns.
we bank a lot of the content that I have. So, as I'm scrolling through Instagram and we're being tagged or people are using our hashtags, I'll screenshot those photos and go, that'll be a really good photo I'll use. And I'll have maybe 5, 10, 15 of those ready to go. So that when I wake up tomorrow, I have a post that's just ready to go. Like today, actually right before I came in here, we posted a picture of a really fat smallmouth bass, which is a bass you would catch in the northern part of the country. It was really fat, and I said, the comment that gets the most likes will win a prize pack. And all of a sudden, within 10 minutes, we had 80 comments on that post. I haven't looked at it since, but I'm sure we have over 100 comments, and people are liking the comments that they like. And tomorrow, I'll put in our Instagram story, congratulations to so-and-so, DM us your address. So it's now, we've now won twice. We got all these comments, and now we put in our story, and people go, oh wow, I could have won that thing if I did that thing yesterday. I'm gonna keep an eye out for when they do this next time.
Great, we have another question over here.
Hi, excuse me, thank you for speaking today. You've helped me a great deal personally. Our little nonprofit, we provide a service. So I would actually have 2 questions if I could. How do you better promote events? We like to have events, but you want to show that people are going. So how do you promote events? Is there a secret to that? And then how do you advertise a service when you don't have a viable visual product per se, you have a service?
I was going to ask you about the event. Is the event an in-person event or a virtual event?
They're in person.
They're in person?
We use a network platform, but it's...
Sure. One of the things that we do for instance, our commencement ceremonies is we'll put that on Facebook, and you can create an event on Facebook, and you can actually run an ad on the event itself. So that's one of the ways to generate traffic to your event. The other thing I would say is definitely cross-pollinate the event on other social networks. So for instance, if you're on Twitter or if you're on Instagram, you can drive traffic to your Facebook event and let people know, there's like specific instructions in the Facebook event that you want to find, maybe some FAQs, maybe that's where you can buy tickets. Use your email campaign. You can do a custom audience advertising campaign to let people know about it if you have all those email addresses. So that's one of the things that we do. I actually don't run ads for events, but you can definitely do that using the Facebook platform.
Yeah, and then like you were talking about earlier, marketing is very platform specific, and I think advertising an event, or at least promoting an event, is very good for Facebook. It wouldn't work as well on Instagram, but I think on Facebook you could put it out there and you could run ads to boost that specifically for your target audience in your target location.
We have time for 2 more questions. Hopefully you folks will be around after the session's over to answer any additional questions.
Oh, we're going fishing, so make it quick.
Oh, by the way, if you want one
You have to get your free pet.
By the way, if you want an Instagram follower really quick, follow me at Chris Van Vliet, VanVliet, and I'll follow you back. So there, you'll have 1 more follower like that.
Just a quick question. Our web page is becoming obsolete.
They are, because landing pages like a company called ClickFunnels and Lead Pages, and these companies are creating solutions that are far more effective than a website. Todd, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, websites are still being built and brands still do need them. Do you need a website to start a business? No, because there's solutions like ClickFunnels and Squarespace and other stuff that you can set up landing pages that at least represent your brand, at least from my perspective.
I would say that if you have a brand or a company, you should at least have a website so that you can get into the SEO, the search engine optimization game, so that people at least are finding you another way other than just on social media. And also in your bio on social media, you have a place to send people to, especially if you're selling a service or a product.
There are companies that are absolutely not using a website, although Chris is absolutely spot on. If you have a website, you get that SEO, you get that organic reach. But we've seen companies target Nova Southeastern and target our students for loan scam ads, unfortunately, and they're not sending the leads to a website. They're just gathering them right on the platform. There's no need for a website. Unfortunately, it's kind of a parasitic company. They'll run ads that'll say, loan forgiveness, and they really don't offer that. But it's very difficult for us to track them and follow up with them because they're doing absolutely everything on the platform, and they're not leading out to a website where we can find contact information or a domain registration or anything like that. So depending on your strategy, you can do everything on social, or you can go ahead and build a website and get that organic reach as well. So one of the things that I do, and I am the only person managing social media at the top level for Nova Southeastern, is scheduling your content. So taking time to plan in advance is one of the first things that you want to do. And secondly, as far as response times, one of the best things that you can do is when you're getting hit with a lot of emails is to take those conversations offline. And I know that they're already offline as far as your inbox goes, but at least send them a message. Facebook allows you to have saved replies. I've got about 20, from answers in Spanish to here's all of the helpful links that you would possibly need right now. The majors pages, tuition, the NSU help desk, that's all in a saved reply with tracked links out to everything. And there's one that just says, hi, thanks for reaching out to us. For additional assistance, please email social@nova.edu. So that person knows that they've been heard, their request has been acknowledged, and then you can take that offline and answer it as quickly as you can without, at least with Facebook, it kind of gives you that time clock of how fast you respond to things. And of course, people expect a fast response, and sometimes it's just not practical, but at least you can let them know quickly, hey, I saw you, I acknowledge you, I'm gonna follow up with you as soon as I can. Does that help? Yeah.
All right, great. So I just want to add one thing to that point about the website, the question about the website. Think about how people search now versus how it was before. Now when people search, they'll Google a term, so as Chris mentioned, SEO, and they find your website, and then what's the next thing we do? Now we go search the name of the company, because we want to look for reviews, we want to look at, sometimes we even search the owner's name. So you want to absolutely own that website, because it's that branding, you want to own that first page of Google. So not only the social media platforms, but of course your website. How was this panel? Great job. Really, really.